When writing an introduction paragraph, there are three parts that are needed: a good hook and some background information before writing a thesis statement. In part 1, we looked at how we write a good hook. In this video, we're going to talk about how to write the background information for your introduction paragraph. If you haven't already watched part 1 about how to write a good hook, you might want to watch that video first before watching this one. Just a quick overview of what was in that first video. A good hook makes the reader want to read more of what you have written in your essay. We talked about several ways that you can do this in that first video. We talked about these 6 ways that you can write a hook for your introduction paragraph. We used a sample essay question to write part of the introduction paragraph in that video. This is one example that we wrote. This is the question that we used to practice writing the hook for the introduction paragraph. We decided that we could write about these 3 challenges for large cities of the world. To write the background information section of your introduction paragraph, you will want to do several things. One thing you want to do is to explain the basic information about your topic. It could be information that your reader may not know or that you want to include to help set the stage for your essay. Are there some words or ideas that need some explanation to help your reader understand better what you want to present to them in your essay? These are things that you can include in your background information section. For this particular essay question, we could, for example, define what a large city is. Now, you want to think of your topic from the perspective of your reader. Is the reader familiar with your topic? If so, then you may not need to explain as much. However, if your reader is possibly not very familiar with your topic, then you may want to add some extra explanation and information so that they will be able to understand the rest of your essay. So let's look at how we can write our background information section of the introduction paragraph. One good way to approach this is to look at these questions and try to answer them, and then see which information might be useful to include in your background information. If we take the idea of cities, then we may think of these particular questions. Who lives in cities? Who needs the most help? Who can make the needed decisions? What country has the most cities? Why are there so many challenges in the city? How can these challenges be solved? These are all good questions that you can ask that you might use in your background information. Now, you do not need to use all of the questions, just the ones that will add helpful information to your introduction paragraph. Before answering some of these questions, you will need to edit the questions and decide which ones are the most helpful for the background information of your particular essay. Let's look at these questions again. Who lives in cities? This question is really not relevant to our essay question, so we probably don't need to use that. Who needs the most help? This would be relevant, so let's keep this one. Who can make the needed decisions? This would also probably be helpful for background information. What country has the most cities? This question really doesn't have any connection to our essay question. The last 2 questions would also be helpful to include in your background information. Remember, you do not want to use unnecessary information that does not apply to your essay. So just use the questions that will be relevant to your essay topic or assignment. The next step is to answer the questions that you have kept. Who needs the most help? You might write something like this. Urban dwellers have unique challenges for them to live productive lives. Who can make the needed decisions? City governments and agencies have the ability to make decisions about urban development. Your next question was, why are there so many challenges in the city? You might write something like this. Large populations with diverse needs create specific urban living challenges that are not faced by those in the countryside. And your last question was, how can these challenges be solved? You might answer this question in this way. With thoughtful and creative planning, many of these challenges can be solved. So in your background information, you do not want to use or include your main points that you will use in your thesis statement for your essay. The background information section is there to set the stage for the thesis statement that outlines what you will present in the essay. Let's take our first introduction paragraph using the surprise the reader type of an introduction hook. You can put your sentences that you just wrote for your questions into your introduction paragraph like this. Over half the world's population lives in cities. However, urban dwellers have unique challenges for them to live productive lives. Large populations with diverse needs create specific urban living challenges that are not faced by those in the countryside. City governments and agencies have the ability to make decisions about urban development, and with thoughtful and creative planning, many of these challenges can be solved. Some of the most important challenges that face large cities of the world are affordable housing, urban pollution, and unemployment. Now, you could do the same thing for the second type of hook. Did you know that the city of Tokyo in Japan is the most populous metropolitan area in the world? These urban dwellers have unique challenges for them to live productive lives. Can you see that we've changed the beginning of that first sentence to fit this introduction hook? You can use the same information with the various hooks that we wrote for the introduction paragraph. If you look closely, you can see that some of the wording has been changed to fit each of the hooks. You may want to change some of the sentence structure or specific words, depending on which hook you use. So when you write your background information for your introduction paragraph, you will want to do these things. Explain the basic information about your topic. What words or ideas need some explanation, and you will want to think of your topic from the perspective of your reader. How much do they know? How much do they not know? These are all the things that you want to include when you write the background information for your introduction paragraph. I have another video about how to write a good, clear thesis statement that you might want to check out too. If you need help writing good sentences, paragraphs, or essays, you might also want to check out my workbooks that I have available. The link is in the description below. Happy writing!